If you went 5 divided by 12 and you pressed equals, right? Some of you will get back a fraction, others of you will get back a decimal, okay? If you've got a decimal, that's great. Just leave it where it is. If, like me, you've got the fraction, okay? If I want a percentage, I've got to get it out of that. So that's why I press this button here. It's just above the orange delete button, okay? Of course, if you got a decimal in the first case and you press SD, you'll get back a fraction because it flips between the two and you can press it as many times as you like and you'll see what happens, okay? Now, what we want is the decimal. Can someone read to me what is the decimal that you've got there? Yeah, Noah.
It is 0.416666667.
How many sixes are there?
Wait, 1, 2, 3.
It's just a continuous
8, I
line.
think.
It's 7.
8? 7?
7.
And then a 7. Is that right?
Yeah, 7 sixes.
Okay, now, I want us to look at this carefully because this is a really important idea. This is what the calculator tells you. This is vitally important to understand. Okay. That number there is not 5/12. It's not 5/12. The calculator is lying to you. Except it kind of doesn't have a choice, right? This is the reason why it's 7 sixes and not say 2 or 3 or 20 is just because that's how much space the calculator has on the screen to show you, right? So it's showing you as many numbers as it can. You might guess, right, as it goes 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, and so on, right? The sixes go on forever. They do go on forever. They're supposed to. We have a way of writing that. Does anyone remember what it is? Yeah, Ali.
The repeater.
That's right. So let me go up here. 5/12, what it's really equal to is 0.416, and then sixes forever. Okay, so that's what that repeater dot indicates. Okay. Yes, that's a great question. Now, why does it end with a 7 and not with a 6 if these are all supposed to be sixes? Yeah, Morgan.
Because with the last decimal, you look at it and so say that 7 used to be a 6, right? But then you looked at the previous decimal and saw that it was 5 or above, which it is, which means it's 6. And then you add 1 onto the previous 6 to make it 7 because you round it up.
Okay.
Because that's how y'all. You want me to try to show you?
No, I think we're on the right track there, but maybe not everyone caught that explanation. Let me see if I can reword it. Tell me if I got it right. There really are sixes that go on forever. They really are. Okay? And so I've drawn more of them. I've drawn more than your calculator can handle. Okay? But at some point, you know, after... Well, sorry, where is the point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Here. At this point, it's like the calculator says, sorry guys, I'm out of space. This number here, that's the last number that I can put in there. I just don't have room for any more. Okay? So it has to make a decision, right? It says... What's this 6? What's it closest to, right? And the answer is, because there's all these 6s over here, right? That means this 6 is closer to a 7 than a 6, isn't it? Yeah. It's like 0.3333 close to a 7, and it's 0.666 away from a 6. So it makes this judgment. It says, I'm going to bump that guy up, right? This is rounding, okay? So he rounds it up to a 7, but the important thing to get is, it's not really a 7. It's just close to a 7. It's the closest that the calculator can get.
It's a 6.
Okay? It is really meant to be a 6, but it rounds off. Okay? So that's why when you're doing your answers in like in a test or in your exercise, that kind of thing, please don't write down the 7 as if that's what the actual number is. It's just that it's close to a 6. You can see the pattern. Okay? Great. Now, there it is as a decimal. Okay, well, there it is as a decimal. But I don't want a decimal. I want a percentage. So how do I turn the decimal into a percentage? We're pretty good. Last lesson we looked at going from percentages to decimals. Do you remember that? Okay. How did we do it? Like if I said 15%, how do you turn that into a decimal? What did you do to it? You have to divide by something, don't you? You divide by 100, and you get 0.15. Okay. So therefore, to go the other way, this way, we have to not divide, but we have to multiply it times, right? So you want to take this number, okay, and you want to multiply it by 100. Okay, you do that. In fact, you don't really need your calculator to do that, do you? We can do that in our heads, can't we? What do we do when you multiply by 10 or 100 or 1,000? Yeah, Ash.
Add zeros.
You add zeros. Now, I don't have many zeros here. I just got this one out the front, okay? So instead I have to sort of work with this decimal point, don't I? What happens to it? For what? You know? That's right. So the sort of equivalent thing to adding 2 zeros is moving the decimal place twice. It should be here now. Okay? So therefore, what's our percentage?
41.7.
Good. 41 point. Well, now, I just made this question up, didn't I? So I didn't tell you what decimal place. I guess 7, we can say that and say that's 1 decimal place. So you got 41.7% of the donuts. That's not too bad. Okay?